Want to learn faster and better? Stay tuned. This is Damon Cart from NLP Gym. Education, how to use NLP to accelerate learning rapidly. If you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. I just got a question from someone on YouTube about using NLP for better grades and for learning and studying. Some NLP trainers and modelers have created specific models for learning. One of the most famous known techniques or strategies for learning is the spelling strategy. Since this is such a big subject, if you want to learn some of these strategies and techniques, they're easy to Google, easy to find. I would recommend that you do that. What I will go into in this video is basically the underlying principle of using NLP for better learning and for more rapid and accelerated learning. First of all, the best teacher is not going to be found in the classroom. The best teacher is experience. Why is that? Well, experience brings in all, if not most, of your five senses. It might not bring in taste and smell, but definitely the visual, the auditory, and also the kinesthetic. So when you're bringing in more information through multiple senses, you're going to recall things better, you're going to understand things better, and that's what experience is. What you get in a classroom is primarily auditory. You get a lecture. What you get from reading a textbook is also auditory, even though you're using the visual to look at the words. You're taking in that information more so by repeating the words that you're reading, and then you're hearing it internally through your own voice. So then it becomes auditory again, and that's fine if you're an auditory learner, but if you're a visual learner or a kinesthetic learner, just by going through the auditory modality or representational system, you're not going to learn it that well. It amazed me when I taught bartending at a bartending school, how many of the students would try to learn from the book before they would ever get behind the fake bar that we had in the classroom to learn bartending. And I would try to tell them, no, you need to get behind the bar, you need to pour these drinks and get that experience before trying to learn it from a textbook. Part of this was they had a fear of making mistakes, and that fear will hold a lot of people back from learning or experiencing or learning through experience. The other thing was they were so used to learning from a textbook and taking tests on the information they memorized through our schooling system. That's the way we're taught to learn. That's the way that our majority of experience from learning comes from that sort of classroom style, read, memorize, regurgitate. And they were so used to that was what they were most comfortable with. Needless to say, the people who got behind the bar and got more practice learned much faster than the people who tried to learn bartending from a book, which you really can't do. When they were creating the spelling strategy, the NLP spelling strategy, what they learned about poor spellers is they were trying to phonetically sound out the word in order to spell it correctly. Now, in other languages that might work. In English, it does not. English defies the phonetics, or the words and the sounds and the letters that come together. They change from word to word. So phonetically, it's a nightmare to try to sound out English words and spell them correctly. What they learned was the best spellers would say the word to themselves and then visualize the letters on a screen so that they could recall them. And just by saying the word to themselves and then looking at the words in their memory, they could tell when something wasn't right. This was a much more effective way to learn to spell, and when they started teaching this visualization method to poor spellers, immediately their spelling got better. So why is this? Once again, you're bringing in that information through a different representational system. In this case, it's visual. So you're not trying to go strictly by the auditory. How can you apply this in your own studies? The more you can bring in the other senses and do it in a creative way, the better you're going to be able to learn, the faster you're going to be able to absorb the information, the easier it's going to be to recall, and the better you can understand what you're actually reading, because it becomes more like an experience because you're bringing in multiple senses. All throughout my schooling, from grade school to junior high, high school, and college, I made straight A's in history. History was the easiest thing for me. And the reason for that was when I listened to a lecture or I read my textbook, I created a movie. I took all the facts that I was hearing and reading, and I created a movie about it with a soundtrack. And once I could see this movie in my mind and hear the soundtrack, it was so easy to come up with, or to memorize the information, facts and dates. And if you think about it, if you watch a movie, how easy is it to recall the movie, especially if it's an interesting one, rather than to recall a lecture that you had or recall facts and dates that you read out of a textbook? It's a no-brainer. Seeing a movie that has like a story to it that includes all the facts and things that you can actually see in your mind's eye and hear in your inner hearing, it's going to make it so much easier for you to recall the information and to understand the information. Take the time as much as possible when you're studying or when you're listening to a lecture to bring in all of the senses that you can, especially the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic. Find creative ways to include all of these channels of taking in information, and you will be amazed at how easy it is to understand the material and how easy it is to recall it and put it into words on a paper or answer multiple choice questions. It will be a breeze. You will learn rapidly, and it's so much better than trying to just repeat something to yourself over and over until you have it memorized. The story will be inside of you just like an experience. The information will be inside of you. It will be a part of you just like an experience is a part of you. It's so much easier to recall an experience you've had than to recall something you've read or something someone told you. Want to master these techniques? Want to master your life by mastering NLP? Sign up for NLP Gym's Ultimate Practitioner Training. If you want to take NLP and learn to use it in any area of your life to make it better, to enhance it, to excel in it, this is the training for you. It is the perfect training for beginners who have had no NLP experience, and it will also challenge the master, someone who considers themselves a master in NLP. We have some of the greatest teachers in the world teaching this training. Judith Delosier, Dr. Sid Jacobson, Mark Andreas, and myself, Damon Cart. Check out the website, nlp-gym.com. There you can sign up for the Ultimate Practitioner Training. It's coming up really soon. The early bird discount will expire in December, so you want to get on this now. Sign up now. Follow us on Facebook for real-time updates on NLP workshops that we're holding. Also, free practice sessions that I hold right here in Santa Cruz. If you like this video, please click like right down here and leave a comment or a question. I will follow up with you. Stay tuned to the end of this video so you can see how you can get your hands on a free NLP online training. Take care.